Pegwarmers episode 200. Welcome to Pegwarmers. I'm Kevin, and I'm here to talk about toys. Today, we are celebrating the 200th episode of Pegwarmers, and, in a sense, the 11th anniversary of this channel. I'm rocking my SEO toy review shirt, the original incarnation of this channel, where we were strictly doing toy reviews, starting out with kids' toys, bringing in collector toys. Take a look at some clips of our favorite SEO toy review moments.
It's a pony dance party.
Oons, oons, oons.
Wow.
And the channel just kind of evolved and then rebranded into Pegwarmers, the video podcast show. And before I acknowledge that too much, our topic for today is schoolyard deals. I'm going to be talking about some G.I. Joe stuff in my collection that belong to childhood friends. I've been posting content to the internet about toys for a long time. This channel is not even the first channel I posted toy-related content to. I had a period of time where I was very into blogging, so typing up little articles about toys and things like that. That was the Action Figure Adventure blog. But then, out of all of that effort, kind of was born SEO Toy Review, which later morphed into Pegwarmers. And I can't believe I've done 200 episodes of Pegwarmers. This is when we switched over to the weekly format, 20 minutes or longer episodes every week, pretty much. There was a little hiatus when I moved, and that was when we changed formats to stop recording at the studio. But I've been having fun producing this kind of content. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I appreciate those of you that regularly watch. The premieres are always fun, seeing people in the comments there, and the regular comment section. I really do appreciate you guys supporting the channel. The Patreon supporters also a big part of this channel, helping out. They bought the mic when I upgraded the sound. I've been messing around trying to establish a multi-camera setup. Some attempts at that have been better than others, but again, the Patreon supporters are what's behind all of that. So, thanks to those guys, thanks to the viewers. I really appreciate you guys being here. Please hit the like button right away up front here. Usually I ask for it at the end, but, let YouTube know this is quality content. Before I really dig into it, I got one little thing to show off here. When I was at Josh's house helping out with the Rattler unboxing, the HasLab Rattler unboxing from a couple episodes ago, he gave me this G.I. Joe mug. This came from like a toiletry set from back in the day. It's got the armadillo on the artwork there. These little toiletry sets was like a toothbrush and a hair comb, and a soap holder, and a little spit cup for, rinsing your mouth when you brush your teeth. They're pretty cool, so I was excited to, add that to the collection. A chunk of this episode is really going to be a collection sort. I'm going through a childhood friend's G.I. Joe collection. But first, I have a little bit of a preamble talking about a couple other friends whose collections have been integrated into mine over the years. The first one being my buddy Brian. He was in my wedding party. I have known him since kindergarten. We became extra good friends sort of in mid-elementary school, all the way through high school. And when we were in, I guess, high school at some point, I traded him a whole bunch of red Magic the Gathering cards. He was trying to collect all of the red cards, and I was trying to collect all the black cards. And I had been a red and black player primarily in the game. So I had some pretty good red cards, and I'm talking like revised 4th edition, the Dark, Legends, Fallen Empires, but nobody cares. Like that era of Magic the Gathering. And I traded him pretty much any red card I wasn't using in my deck that I had in a binder. For a box of toys that he had, but G.I. Joe toys. He actually pulled out a couple of mask things that were in that box, and the coolest thing to me that was in that box was the Night Force hovercraft, the Night Striker. I had never owned a hovercraft as a kid. I had a friend that had the hovercraft. Obviously, Brian had this, but I don't remember ever playing with it, although I didn't play toys with Brian a whole lot. I became friends with him sort of in the era where we were dabbling in Dungeons & Dragons, then moved on to Magic the Gathering, then moved on to Warhammer 40,000. So we weren't really getting together and playing with toys. This is not complete. It was more complete when I first got it from him. It actually had the shrouds on the back. And I think there's some other items to it in a bag somewhere, because it doesn't have the wheels on the bottom. And the button, I think, worked at one point in time, but it seems to be stuck right now back there. The propellers work. But anyway, I had this in my collection for a long time. Loved this. I did trade a few of Brian's vehicles away. There is a farmer's market called the Q-Mart, the Quakertown Farmer's Market, near where I grew up. It was where I bought almost all of my G.I. Joe and Star Wars toys as a collector. Once I stopped being a kid and they were being produced, basically, I bought them all secondhand there. And I took some vehicles from Brian's collection and traded them because I really wanted a Thunder Machine for the Dreadnoks and something else. And I know it kind of bugged Brian later that I traded some of that stuff away. So I do feel bad about that, because I didn't realize I was going to hurt his feelings by giving away some of the stuff or trading away some of the stuff. But I definitely have that in my collection. I also have a complete Night Striker that I traded from a friend. I actually was selling a friend doubles of my Motu Classics, because for a long time during that run I had 2 subscriptions. And a friend wanted to get into it late, and he wanted pretty much one of every figure I had extras of. And we figured out a price for those, and then he offered me a complete Night Striker, a complete Night Boomer, and some cash to pay for that. So I will always keep Brian's Night Striker in my collection because of, kind of upsetting him before with trading away some of his other childhood stuff. But, so that's in the collection for life. My buddy Brian cracks me up. There's just something about his sense of humor and his personality that clicks with mine. We don't see each other all that often. We get together, a handful of times throughout the year. He and I live more than an hour away from each other. So we do get together here and there on the weekends. We do, see each other socially, but it's not like it was when we were kids and we saw each other every weekend. Brian was the voice of Clutch in the animated show I made with my friend Derek, Action Figure Adventures. If you saw really old content from my original YouTube channel,
please, Animal, we need you.
It's one of my favorite roles in the entire show is Clutch, and his dream, because the toys are all trying to figure out how to escape the dorm room. It's Toy Story in a dorm room is the kind of elevator pitch of it. They all want to escape, and his plan is to get the Animal to drive them out. The Animal was the battery-powered vehicle with the tiger paws that came out of the wheels from back in the 80s. And he has the help of 2 Tiger Force flunkies as his, assistants with figuring out the mechanical nature of the beast.
The Animal. The Animal. It's a big, powerful 4x4. But when the going gets tough, it bares its claws to climb over anything that gets in its way. The Animal. The Animal. Can anything stop? The Animal. The Animal. The Animal, clawing its way to the top. The Animal, each sold separately, batteries not included.
Batteries not included? Batteries! Of course! Hey, wake up, you two! Batteries! We need batteries to make it run. Let's go!
Next up to show off is the Night Force Night Blaster. This is the Cobra Maggot repainted up for Night Force. Again, I never had any Night Force stuff as a kid. I didn't know where people got it. We rarely went to Toys R Us when I was a kid. It was like a once or twice a year kind of thing. Maybe right before my birthday, and maybe right before or right after my birthday, and oftentimes like right before Christmas. I had no idea where kids got the stuff. I had a friend that had some figures. Obviously, I had a few friends that had the vehicles. I don't know. But my buddy Derek, who, was sort of my childhood best friend, part of the same group of friends that Brian was in. We all hung out together a lot in middle school and high school playing all the nerd games that I mentioned. When Derek moved to Portugal, he passed on a bunch of his G.I. Joe stuff to make sure his mom didn't donate it to Goodwill. He actually came to say goodbye, knowing that he wouldn't be around very often. He usually comes home once a year during the summer to visit. But he dropped off his Terradrome at my house and a small tote of vehicles, the Night Blaster being one of them. Not making the mistake I made with Brian's. I have been working to complete some of these things. I think there's an engine cover missing here. I did pick up one of these support legs for the back part, And I also picked up this radar dish, which I have to verify if this is actually the right one for the Night Force vehicle, or if it's supposed to be the glowy orange to put on here. But I've been working to complete this and other toys. If you've watched a lot of this channel, you may have seen me pick up Vector parts at one point. But the box of stuff from Derek, like I said, his collection, I have a Terradrome, I have this Night Blaster, I have the Tiger Rat plane from Tiger Force, the Rattler repainted, the Vector Jet, Coastal Defender maybe, one of my least favorite G.I. Joe toys, and I think a Snowcat maybe, or a Tiger Cat came from Derek. So I also have some of Derek's figures and or accessories in my collection. Most of those, though, I traded off of him when we were kids. We traded a lot of stuff, Derek and I, for keeps. And, I've traded magic cards or other little weird toys I found at yard sales and things like that. And sometimes he would say no when I would ask about G.I. Joe accessories and things like that. And sometimes he was okay with it. I also think I have all his file cards in my file card collection. I think at one point he realized he didn't care about hanging on to those and gave them to me. And I integrated them into my collection because some of his figures were already in my collection. And he had a lot of mail-away guys and stuff that I missed out on as a kid. So I didn't have the Fridge's file card and Starduster's file card, things like that. So my buddy Derek wrote the script for Action Figure Adventures and did all the editing, the stop-motion show. He also voiced Scoop, who was another main character, kind of in like the main trio of heroes with Scoop, Barbecue, and Clutch, all kind of having pivotal scenes together a lot. And Scoop was sort of a non-traditional Joe, somewhat reflecting Derek's personality of not really being into combat, not really being into, like, starting battles with the bad guys, but, definitely part of commemorating the escape attempts with taking characters' pictures. He also voiced Chewbacca, doing some of the Chewbacca growls and roars and things like that in the show.
So Crazy Legs is going to jump out that window.
Yep.
And he expects to survive.
Yep.
And then we're all supposed to follow him.
That's his plan.
I'm sorry, but I'm with that Turtle Ninja guy on this. It's insane. Oh well, guess I better take his picture before he kills himself.
We never took a picture of Chuckles.
That's right. I guess I'll have to draw one. What do you suppose he's up to now?
Maybe he found a way out. Or maybe he's still wandering aimlessly up there.
Or maybe he's dead.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe he met a group of people who didn't know how to defend themselves, and he thought he was doing them a favor by teaching them the art of war. And maybe now he's realizing that weapons and violence aren't always the solution to our problems, that militarism doesn't improve the quality of life for anyone. Maybe that's what's happening to him right now.
What kind of a G.I. Joe are you, anyway?
Derek and I met in first grade. I was friends with a kid named Adam Eccles. Derek was also friends with that kid, Adam Eccles. And when Adam Eccles moved away to Maryland, there was a void, and we filled that void with each other. We became best friends in the absence of the other kid that we were each already best friends with. And it worked out very well for the both of us. Longtime friends, like I said, he moved to Portugal. I only see him a little bit each summer when he comes home. Hopefully he'll be home soon. Maybe he'll even be home during the airing of this episode. The next friend from elementary school, whose collection has merged with mine, is Tim. I don't think Tim was ever in my class. I knew Tim because Derek and Tim and I were in the same Cub Scout troop. Tim's mom was actually a preschool teacher of mine, so there's always a chance that I met Tim in preschool, but then, kind of became friends with him in elementary school. I bailed out of Cub Scouts at some point, and then Brian joined when they were the Boy Scouts. So Brian and Derek and Tim became, friends through that. And a couple summers ago, maybe 2 summers ago, maybe 3, Derek got together with some of the other guys from our elementary school, the guys that kind of stayed in Scouts together. So Tim and John and Joe and whoever else. And somebody brought up about selling their childhood toys, or Derek mentioned that I had his childhood toys. Anyway, Tim eventually posted online, on Facebook Marketplace actually, his bin of G.I. Joe toys. And when I looked at Marketplace, all I saw was a Night Boomer and a pretty good price on it, so I immediately clicked on it, and as I'm about to type the, like, hey, when can we meet up, I realize it is Tim from elementary school. So I message him. He immediately is like, I'll take down the ad, we'll set up a time. So we actually met in a Walmart parking lot near his work, because that was a lot closer to my house than me driving back to kind of where I grew up. And we caught up in the parking lot for a while. He mentioned that Derek said that I had all his childhood stuff, and gave Tim some money, and his G.I. Joe collection became part of mine. I've actually had this in my possession for a while now, definitely about a year, because I planned to do this collection sort, and it didn't happen. I think 2 weeks in a row when I planned to do it, there was either G.I. Joe news or something arrived I wanted to talk about right away, and then it just got pushed off, and then it became my idea for the 200th episode, was to talk about not just this collection, but my friends' childhood collections that I now own. So my plan is for the remainder of this video to dig through it, check it out, see what's in there, kind of share that with you guys, and then I'll figure out what stuff from Tim's collection is staying in my collection. I don't feel as bad. I don't think Tim was nostalgic for this the way Brian was. We're also a lot older now than like when we were in like late middle school, early high school, when that hat came. But I still want to handle it with care. But if there's vehicles that are completely just stripped down, which I can tell they are, because this Dreadnought Thunder Machine, which I wanted so bad when I got Brian's collection, probably isn't complete enough to worry about hanging on to. But I'm going to go through it and kind of decide what stuff I'm keeping and what stuff I'm going to part with. I definitely want to keep a handful of things to, kind of commemorate Tim's collection within my collection. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about, if this is all that's in there to the Thunder Machine, I'm probably not going to worry about hanging on to this.
Commander, our sworn enemies are making preparations to escape into the outside world.
They must be crushed underfoot like the pathetic insects they are.
My minions will oppose them every step of the way. None may oppose the dark side. And live.
No matter what, I swear they will never reach freedom. They will languish here for the rest of their miserable lives.
You forget that we are also trapped here, and, like them, also wish to be free. What do we gain from fighting?
Idiot! What kind of bad guy are you? Show some pride!
Oh, forgiveness, please, Commander.
Come, my cohorts. Let us prepare our attack.
So as I mentioned, the first thing in this bin, the thing that kind of grabbed my attention, is the Night Boomer, the Night Force exclusive version of the Sky Striker. It's in pretty good shape here as far as like the main hull. It's got the windshield, it's got both of the stabilizer fins, it's got the engines. On the underside it has all the covers for the landing gear and this big pod. No other missiles, no seats for the inside, so it is kind of incomplete there. Don't know if there's other parts to it inside the bin, but the Night Boomer is hard to find. Also has the nose cone tip there. It's a popular toy, and it's hard to come by. The one issue that I did notice, the landing gear seems to be really tight. I'm struggling to get it to open up. It does work, though. Maybe exercising that a little bit would help it. Get that spring loosened up. The decals on it are pretty nice. It's a really good body. Like a really nice starter piece here. And even the decals on it are pretty nice. Like I said, they might even be nicer than the one that's in my collection, because I know one of mine is kind of rubbed off pretty much. So, we've got the Night Boomer there. Eventually I might have to move some stuff off the table here. It seems like all the vehicles are on the top first. The next thing we've got is the Arctic Blast. I had this as a kid. This is definitely missing some parts. It's got its roll cage, it's got its machine guns, the big spiked tires. It's even got the seatbelt, which I took out of mine and threw out as a kid. But it is missing the missiles, and there should be like a front ski part or something like that. Definitely some other yellow bits that go on here. I might use that seatbelt to complete mine, because I still have mine from when I was a kid. But like I said, I got rid of all the seatbelts at one point because I just found them fiddly and annoying, but it made my vehicles incomplete. So we've got the Arctic Blast. The Mud Fighter. Again, this thing's kind of a shell here. It's got the bomb racks, it's got the wheel, it's got the windscreen, but it doesn't have the wingtips or any of the missiles or even the propeller. The Mud Fighter was a fun, small plane, a prop plane. It's got these great molded-on Gatling guns, and it held a ton of bombs. So I loved this as a kid. This one's pretty incomplete, but the body itself is in great shape, and the stickers look good. Next up is the Swamp Masher. This is missing one of its wheel clusters. It does have the mount for the machine gun, but that is missing. It's got the engine smokestacks here. The joysticks there. No bombs in the front. So again, missing a bunch of pieces, but not in too bad a shape. Could be a project to complete. We've got the Tiger Sting. This is the G.I. Joe Tiger Force Jeep. It's a weird combination of the Vamp Mark 1 and the Vamp Mark 2, I think. You'd think they were going to use the Stinger with the name Tiger Sting, but it's got the Vamp Mark 2 missile launcher here, but it's the Vamp Mark 1 body, I believe, because it's got the little Gatling gun here, or the little minigun, and no shovel. It has the doors to it. The missile launcher seems to be in good shape. It's got the basket in the back. It does look like it's missing a few decals. There's no, like, Tiger Force smile here, and there's no headlight decals. But still not a bad starter piece. And the Tiger Sting is actually fairly hard to come by, it seems like. I see a lot of people talk about it when it comes up online. Alright, we're starting to get into the bin a little bit more here, past some of the big things that were blocking the main contents. I've got a Thunder Machine? Yeah, okay. It's got rubber wheels. It's got that maroon plastic. I don't know if I've ever really seen the inside of the Thunder Machine so clearly before with the 2 seats and the interior controls. It's such a crowded vehicle. Okay, here's another part to that. So this is the blue outside body. Alright, now you can start to see how crowded it gets. But this gives you a great view of the big prop turbine engine there. It's got the little antenna. I'm not seeing the front end here. Oh, wait. Here's the front. This is like the car front end, the grill. I don't know exactly how this goes on here. It does have this roll cage thing that protects the Gatling guns. Don't know if that's in... Oh, there we go. It flipped up now. So that's going to go on there, but again, missing some stuff. So I have a feeling this is a project or just some parts to help somebody else out with. Probably not going to be able to get this thing all together. Alright, this is a little surprising. This is a Bayformers Optimus Prime or Ultra Magnus, somebody figure. This makes me think Tim's kids played with these G.I. Joes for a while before he parted with them, because this is not from our youth. Alright, we got Road Pig. This is a awesome G.I. Joe. I believe 89. One of the biggest, beefiest guys from the Joe line. A Dreadnought. He had the Thunder Machine. He's got Road Pig here. In pretty good shape. Really not bashed up or beat up. No broken thumbs. No broken waist. So that's a good piece. Hopefully there'll be some accessories in here. Alright, we've got Arctic Tundra Stalker. This is the version 2 Stalker figure where he's got the jacket and the beanie. He came with the kayak most famously, so we'll check him out, see if we find other parts to him. Alright, this is part of the Dreadnought Swampfire. I recognize the little sword decal there. And there are some other pieces here, it looks like. Here's the top with the pontoon support arms. This is something I never had as a kid. My buddy Derek did have it, and Tim had it. The Dreadnoughts were cool. People were always really into them. I had Zorana and Xandar and Road Pig, but I didn't really have the Dreadnought vehicles until I got a secondhand Dreadnought Cycle. But this was always kind of fun. It's a boat, and like a helicopter in one, so it can land on water. Has kind of that piratey vibe to it. And this used the color change plastic. I'm definitely seeing some missing parts, and it looks like a hint of glue on the top here. So probably some broken pieces. That's fairly typical with this toy, that the parts would break. They were a little fiddly, a little thin, and I don't know if the color change plastic was a little bit brittle, but it definitely had some issues. Alright, here's Blizzard, another 88, 89 guy. He's got his helmet on there. Paint job is great, man. This guy barely looks like he got played with. I know mine is pretty beat up. The one in my collection is my childhood one, but Tim's childhood one might be an upgrade for me. Ooh, Alley Viper. Can't go wrong with a Cobra Army Builder. Looks like his elbows are in good shape. Alley Vipers are known for getting elbow cracks. Okay, the one elbow has an elbow crack. And he's got his flip-up visor. Definitely one of the coolest Cobra Vipers from the vintage, 90s-ish era. Or that orange and blue paint scheme is absolutely ridiculous. The designer actually said he threw this in. They had to turn in X number of color studies, and sometimes you'd pick a couple of weird ones that you didn't really like to try to force them to pick ones you did like. And he said they picked one that he just kind of made up to fill in a slot. And that's how we got that crazy color scheme. Alright, here's Serpentor's Air Chariot. Missing pretty much everything. It does have the little fan. So I wonder if there'll be a Serpentor in here. Serpentor was absolutely a huge figure in this era for kids my age. He's Cobra Emperor. He's one of those deluxe Cobra figures that came with a miniature vehicle. Started off by Zartan. Zanzibar. Actually, here's Zanzibar's air skiff. So another one of those deluxe figures. This has his little sledgehammer tucked in on the side. Oh, it's got a broken control stick. That's actually pretty common. It does have the fan. It's got that little rear bumper piece. I don't know. It looks like the one missile tab's broken, so this is not in great shape. Is this the gun belt to the Thunder Machine? This tank tread seems too big to be that, but I don't know what else it is. We got some more Thunder Machine parts here. There's the roof. Here are the doors in that front screen. Yeah, so this is what I was saying about how it's hard to see inside the Thunder Machine. Let's go tuck underneath. There's a lot of good parts here to the Thunder Machine, but it doesn't have the front wheels. But by the time you have these blue sides on, and then you put this roll cage on with the roof and the doors, you really don't get to enjoy the details inside this vehicle very much. And I never took this off. I didn't have it as a kid. I only had it as as like an adult collector in my high school or college days. I don't remember exactly when I got it, but so I've never really taken it apart, looked inside there. We're getting there, a little bit more complete. Like I said, there should be Gatling guns here, and I don't know if that's the belt to it. I don't think it is, though. Okay. Here are some Swamp Masher parts. This is another wheel. It's missing one of the purple wheels there, but this would go on the other side here. So that's a little bit closer. Some more parts to the Dreadnought Swampfire. This is the pontoon piece. Alright, so this can attach to one side. And here is one of the rotor blades, but again, I think the post where those would attach is busted off. So we could use this as the boat mode version, but I don't think it's going to work with a propeller. I have no idea what this is. Probably to some other toy, little orange oddball thing. Okay, Thunder Machine wheels. They have that interesting, bent pivot. I don't know how these go on. Well, let's see if we can figure it out. I didn't know these would be in here. Okay, so there's posts on this red part here. It's coming together. What do I do with the front end? Here's the front end. I don't know exactly how this thing fits on here. And I'm still missing the guns in the middle, but this is far more complete than it was. kayak. Oh, and his gun. So Stalker's coming along a little bit here. I got DJ. Ooh, DJ's got one of his little antenna connector pieces here. Those are a pain to find, so that's pretty good. DJ was a Battle Force 2000 guy. He was the only figure released for Battle Force 2000 in a second wave. He didn't specifically have a vehicle, but there was a Battle Force 2000 vehicle released the same year. So by that logic, the Pulverizer is his vehicle. I don't think he had as good of a design as some of the other guys, although there's some people that really love him. He's just very funky and didn't have a removable helmet, although not everybody in Battle Force 2000 did. A lot of them did, and I think that helped them. He's definitely futuristic. He's definitely weird, but wasn't my favorite. Monkey Wrench. What? His rubber band is really weak, and he's got a broken thumb, but his waist is intact. Monkey Wrench is on my list of figures that almost always has a broken waist when you find him. Beachhead, Law and Order, Monkey Wrench. There's a few other guys whose waist piece, for some reason, breaks the crotch. So that's interesting to find his waist, even though he's got a broken thumb. Here's Zanzibar for the Air Chariot. Again, really pretty good shape. Little scuff on his eye patch. His ponytail's not in bad shape. A little bit of wear on the gold paint on his like wrist bracers, and that's pretty common. Gold paint on G.I. Joes just never really holds up. We got half a buzzer. Half a buzzer. So he's an 85 figure. So is that the earliest figure we've found so far? 85. Lots of 88, 89 kind of era. Monkey Wrench is 86. So, all right, a little bit of a range here on what years he got guys from. Here's Thrasher, in pretty good shape. A little bit of scuff on his hair, which is pretty common with him, but he's in pretty good shape there. Impressed for the age and the fact that these were probably played with by 2 generations of kids, that the paint and the rubber bands are in pretty good shape. All right, here are some pants. I do believe those are buzzers. So maybe we can put him back together at some point. And here's Ripper. Same fate. No rubber band. His paint is not too bad. Got to see if I can find waist pieces for these guys in the bin here. Alright, we got some bombs here for the Mud Fighter. I found 3 of those gray bombs that go on the bottom. There's probably more. Some Hot Wheels cars. Matchbox. I don't know what era, if these are Tim's vintage or his kid's vintage, but some fun little cars. Wild Weasel. Alright, here's an older figure. Still has his silver cobra symbol on his arm. That's often rubbed off. He's in pretty good shape. The maps on his legs look nice. Wild Weasel, no sign of the Rattler so far, but I guess Tim had it at some point. Sub-Zero. The G.I. Joe Winter Operative. One of the things I always thought was weird, he has a grenade sculpted on his front and back of his bicep. It just looks weird. Why would you have a grenade on the back of your arm? Not a figure I had as a kid. I think my friend Britt had him, though. Whoops. 3 Arctic guys, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Dreadnoks. Alright, there is a McDonald's Superboy figure here. This, again, not from Tim's generation. That ended up in here. This is Young Justice Superboy. Oh, a Battle Beast. That's awesome. There's the Spider Battle Beast, or Crab guy. I don't know. I guess he's a crab. I was thinking he's a spider. And he's got his weapon, or a weapon, for Battle Beast, so that's really cool. Tiger Force Bazooka. Alright, he's wearing a Weapon Pack backpack right now. This is the Recondo backpack from the Weapon Pack, and he's holding an original Firefly gun. So I wonder if Tim had Firefly. I had Tiger Force Bazooka as a kid and the Tiger Sting, so it's funny that we have that in common there. He does have his helmet on. Don't know if he has any other gear there. But he's a good-looking figure. Oh, and here's Windchill, the driver to the Arctic Blast. He is currently holding Blizzard's weapon, so that adds to the Arctic guys, although we kind of knew he was coming because of the Arctic Blast. I had Windchill and Blizzard as a kid, you know, same era of play. We're getting down to some parts and pieces here. There's a little Brave and the Bold Batman, again, not Tim's era. The gun to the Swampfire and the front plate to Serpentor's Air Chariot. Another sponson and rotor blade to the Swampfire. So this is actually a pretty nice, like, parts lot. You couldn't complete it because that top rotor is broken, but I do think that you pretty much get all the other parts. So if you had another shell that part was okay in, you'd probably put it together. I definitely have one of these in my collection from Derek. And I may also have one that I picked up at some point. So I'll have to look and see, you know, make sure I have at least one or two nice ones. This is a Tinker Toy Finn, and this is a piece to the Thunder Machine again. So working towards having that more complete. I do not know what this is. It looks like the handle to a toy cart or something. I don't know. Alright, this is the bullet belt to the Thunder Machine. This is a rubber belt, but they actually look like bullets and not like a tank tread, and it's the right size for that. Blizzard's backpack with one of its bicycle handlebars. And we know his gun is here. Alright, I think I see some other stuff for him too. There are some skis in here. This one is a regular ski. That goes to Blizzard. This other ski has a little mini machine gun on the top of it, and that means it's Windchill's. Windchill had these cool weapons built into his skis. See if we can complete any of these guys. Ooh, the Thunder Machine driver, Thrasher's lacrosse stick. That makes him complete. Here's the spear for Zanzibar. We have his hammer, so maybe we'll find his pistol. Dogfight. The pilot to the Mud Fighter, that green plane. He's in here. Fun figure. Always felt like he kind of seemed like a Wild Bill 2.0. With that big bushy mustache, but he's got more of the, I don't know, aviation look to him with the jacket and everything and the headset than Wild Bill, who had the Air Cavalry helmet and the cowboy belt buckle. I believe this is the seat to the Dreadnought motorcycle, so maybe Tim had that also. I don't know what this goes to. I probably should. This is probably something super recognizable, and I just can't think of what it is. Little cover. Let me know. Alright, so I'm just grabbing like a handful of weapons here. Bomb to the Mud Fighter. There's a machine gun to the Thunder Machine. Mud Fighter bomb. I do not know. Some sort of spear point, anchor, not sure. We've got some weapon pack helmets here. This is the like Ripcord helmet and Mutt's helmet in gray. If you know the weapon packs, you're familiar with those. Spirit's backpack in gray. Battle Armor Cobra Commander's backpack. I wonder if he's in here somewhere. Oh, speaking of Battle Armor Cobra Commander, there he is. No mouthpiece. Maybe his mouthpiece is in here. Maybe his gun's in here. The mouthpiece is hard to find, so there's a good chance that's missing. There is Road Pig's hammer. I don't know what this white disc is. It's not the mine to Sub-Zero. Looks like a cap or a cover to some sort of tube. Another... there's a Q-tip in here. I wonder if this was a combat weapon, like Big Boa's staff. Here's the other ski to wind chill. Haven't found his actual gun yet. He's still armed up with Blizzard's weapon. But another bomb to the Mud Fighter. Another gun to the Thunder Machine. Mud Fighter bomb. Arctic Blast missile. Broken piece of plastic. We'll get rid of that. There is a steering wheel here. I wonder if this is the Thunder Machine steering wheel. It's a small black steering wheel. I think, pretty sure that's what that is. But I could check the Tiger Sting and see if it's that vehicle's steering wheel. There's a little pistol here. Does this go to... It looks like it's a key ring, so this might have been a quarter machine toy. I was thinking maybe it went to a 12-inch G.I. Joe, but the ring at the bottom makes me think not. Little piece of a wall from one of the battlefield accessories. Destro's backpack from the weapon accessory pack. The green stands from a weapon pack. The Baroness's gun, rifle in black. Ooh, Tim must have had a ferret because here is the engine cover or the weapon compartment cover for that. That's a pretty decent piece to find. Silver Mirage, the fairing or the little backpack piece for the passenger. Here is the broken part to the helicopter for the Dreadnoks, the Swampfire. The pin is definitely snapped off, so at some point somebody glued that on there for Tim. But it didn't hold up. Ripper's backpack, the motor for his Jaws of Life. Got a missile and a gun to Zanzibar's air skiff. A Gatling gun for the Arctic Blast. This is Sub-Zero's mortar and Sub-Zero's mine. Serpentor's air chariot cannon. And a weapon pack roadblock backpack. Weapon pack dock helmet. A red Lego leafy tree branch thing. I do not know what era that came in. We've got a Cobra light blue rifle from a weapon pack. Here is a engine cover for a Rattler. Alright, this is one of the battle damage panels. This is the good version, the non-battle damaged version of one of the two spots on that. The gun for the kayak. The harpoon weapon for Monkey Wrench. So he's complete, but he still has a broken thumb. The other cannon for the Arctic Blast and another Mud Fighter missile. Snake Eyes, 89 Snake Eyes, nunchuck one part, Night Force, weapon pack, Thunder's monocular, a visor for the weapon pack, helmet, and the mortar, minus the stand from the weapon packs. Did Tim have the Dragonfly? I'm pretty sure this is a Dragonfly missile. Here's the stand, the bipod to Sub-Zero's machine gun. Havoc missile. Did Tim have the Havoc? Here is the shoulder pads for Road Pig. Weapon pack, Crimson Guard backpack, and another missile for Zanzibar's air skiff. Ooh, here's the rest of the nunchuck for Snake Eyes, so when I find that other part wherever it went, I can put that all together. Serpentor's backpack. Weapon pack, airborne or ripcord rifle. The support arm to the kayak. Snake Eyes 89's machine gun. A strange little piece that I do not know what that goes to. Don't think it's G.I. Joe. Here's one of our Dreadnought wastes. Here's two of our Dreadnought wastes, both of them intact. So with two rubber bands, we can save those guys. Here's a mortar, the correct color for short fuse. Did Tim have an 82 short fuse or 83 short fuse? Or is this something he acquired over the years? We've got Alley Viper's backpack without the grappling hook. A little missile, looks like from a model plane. I do not know what this missile goes to. I don't think it's G.I. Joe. Maybe a Transformer. Another bomb for the Mud Fighter. This is a panel, I think, to the Tiger Shark. The Tiger Force, not Tiger Shark, Tiger... Maybe Tiger Shark. The Tiger Force water moccasin. I think that's the cover to that. Oh, found the wheel to the Mud Fighter. So the Mud Fighter might be vehically structurally intact, just missing some accessories. A missile to the Mud Fighter. Another figure stand from an accessory pack. Another fin to the Thunder Machine, which is getting much closer to being complete. Blizzard's gun. One of Blizzard's spiked foot pieces. Zorana's backpack. Bazooka's bazooka. Another Mud Fighter bomb and another Blizzard foot ice shoe. Another weapon pack helmet, a Lego. I've got the bayonet gun for Ripper, and another Zanzibar air skiff weapon. There's another seat, which, like I said, I believe goes to the Dreadnought motorcycle. More Mud Fighter bombs. More Mud Fighter bombs. Serpentor's air chariot handlebars. Zorana's weed whacker gun minus a handle. So that's busted. Blizzard's other ski. Road Pig's arm guard. Weapon pack gun for Firefly. Another Lego. A missile, I think, to a Battle Force 2000 vehicle, maybe? We've got Stalker's backpack. Mud Fighter bombs. Hooray! And we've got some file cards, it looks like. That's pretty much it. There's some little bits of crud in the bottom here, but nothing that seems important. No mouthpiece for Cobra Commander. Should be the hardest to find piece that I am looking for. Oops, I just knocked some stuff on the floor. We've got Alley Viper's file card. Underneath Alley Viper, Cobra Urban Assault Troopers crossed out, and it says back follower handwritten on here, and there's something else written on it, and the Cobra symbol is crossed out. Tim's getting a little creative there. We've got Wind Chill's file card. We've got Road Pig's file card. Blizzard's file card. DJ's file card. And that 89 Snake Eyes file card. Alright, not a bad collection. It's not huge. There's definitely almost every vehicle is a project. I don't know if there's anything totally complete there. There might be a couple of complete guys. Blizzard might be complete. No, he's missing one handlebar. I don't know. There might not even be any complete Joes. But there's definitely some parts, which is nice. A lot of times when you get collections, you find very few accessories. And there's a significant number of accessories here. This is pretty cool. It was awesome to be able to pick this up and dig through it and, I don't know, see what was in Tim's collection. Some of this stuff will join my collection, and some of this stuff will probably get passed on. Alright guys, I hope you had fun checking out Tim's collection and hearing my stories about the schoolyard collections. I know I didn't really trade for them on the schoolyard. I do have a few stories about the playground. They're probably not that super interesting. But, you know, maybe. If you guys want to hear about them, maybe I'll incorporate them into another episode at some point in time. Let me know in the comments down below if you ever made a great schoolyard deal, or, like me, have purchased or acquired collections from people that you grew up with. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for celebrating the 200th episode of Pegwarmers and the 11th anniversary of this channel overall. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. If you want to support the channel further, consider joining us on Patreon. Share this video with a toy collecting friend. It really does help grow this channel. Thanks for hanging on the peg with me.